What's up, everybody? It's me, Valinor. We're back here today for some more Valheim, Hearth and Home. Today we're going to be checking out some of the bronze gear. I went and did a bunch of mining, cleared out an entire copper vein, probably about two of them, and I also picked up a bunch of tin. And then I went around and cleared out all the crypts I could in our dark forest that we had discovered. So that way we've got a bunch more Surtling cores now. Went ahead and added a new smelter to the forge area. So take a look at all that. It's just starting a new day now, so it's starting to brighten up. As you see, I building the framework here for another area of smelting and crafting, which for now it's only going to be one smelter, but as the game progresses we'll have more crafting, such as the fabrics and the blast furnace. So this will expand out a bit, and we'll have a whole little crafting section right here near the water where our dock's going to be. And then we'll have our house back here and our farms. It's going to be back here. So the plan's coming together. Everything's starting to work out. But since we're here now, let's go ahead and take a look at... you see I got quite a bit of copper and tin. So I'm going to go ahead and make 60... Well, it'll come out to 30 bronze, because it takes 2 copper and 1 tin for every bronze. So we'll go ahead and craft these up and then see what we can make. Our goal first is the most two important things are going to be the cultivator, so we can start farming, and the bronze axe, so we can start cutting down the higher level trees, because we haven't seen any fine wood yet. So we're going to need that. So what do we need? We need the axe, which is leather and wood, and the cultivator, which is core wood. So let's go ahead and put the bronze back for now. I think I still had some left over as well. Yeah, so we've got 41 bronze and enough to make 4 more. So let's go see. Let's see what core wood and regular wood and leather scraps. So we do have a little bit of leather, regular wood, plenty of leather scraps, but no core wood. So we're going to go grab some core wood and a little bit more regular wood, and then we'll see what we can do to get these things crafted. Alright, we're back. We've got our core wood, almost a whole stack, some regular wood, and we went ahead and picked up our leather scraps from the storage. We're going to come over here and see what we can pick up the bronze. We're going to need that. We'll start with 11 and see. Like I said, we definitely need the cultivator so we can start growing crops. That's very important. Alright, and we also are going to want the axe, so we need 8. Now you can see we unlocked a lot of plants now. Alright, so we want the axe. We can finally stop using a flint axe. Alright, so we've got those 2 created. Those are the most important ones right now. So what else can we make and should we make? Well, we've almost got the full set of troll armor, and so I don't want to replace that just yet with the bronze. I think making bronze weapons and tools is going to be the best bet. So we can look and see what we can make. There's a mace, a shield, a sword. We've been using the flint spear, which is a pretty basic spear for the entire time. And let's see, the damage on that's only 32 pierce, while the bronze sword has 35 slash. So it's not a lot higher, but the bronze sword can still be upgraded, whereas the flint spear is already maxed out. There's also a bronze spear, but honestly I would prefer using a sword at this point. It has less knockback, and I don't really like the knockback that comes on the spear. It just makes it more difficult to get the combo hits on the enemies, because you're constantly knocking them back. You have to get closer to them. So I think we'll make a sword and a shield. I think that'll be our best bet. I don't really use the two-handed weapons until much later in the game. So let's go ahead and craft up a sword and the shield. We'll put those on our bar. Okay. And that's everything that we can craft right now. We do have a little bit more bronze, but I don't want to use it all up. We've got 10 bronze left. We can make 4 more with what we've got here. But let's not rush into that. And there's nothing else on here that we really need. And we could do some upgrades, but it's not too important at the moment. Right now, we've got the stuff built. We can keep collecting more copper and tin and to do the upgrades. So the next thing we want to check out is what else can we build with our hammer. I did go ahead and build the forge anvils right there. That upgrades our forge to level 2. So we've got that upgraded. And I'm not seeing any other upgrades just yet for our workbench or our buildings. And no new furniture. Except there is a log we could put. It's a sitting log. We could put that right here. And that should be close enough to our bed. And that will increase our rested. It should at least. Up to 6. Let's see, our fire must have gone out. Well, it should be covered to keep it out of the rain. Let's see if we can do something for this. Alright, fire's going again. That might cause it to smoke out, but for now, we just need it to be lit. So with the log bench over there, once we're not wet anymore, we'll see our rested should be higher now. Yeah, so comfort's up to 6 now, so that gave us a whole nother level on our comfort, which will get us up to, I believe, 13 minutes. So let's check and see when our rested buff refreshes here. Any second. Takes about 15 to 20, yeah, so 13 minutes now. So that's great. The higher we can get our rested buff, the longer we can be out in the world mining, exploring, before we have to come back for that. So we've got that good. So we've got our equipment made. I'm going to clean up my inventory, and then we're going to take a look at possibly getting a farm area set up. So let's drop these things off, and then we'll see where we're at next. As you can see, this is our first copper mine, and we cleared this one out pretty good. Got down deep, got everything. And that's the nice thing about copper, is even though they may not look like it, they're usually quite large underground. So it's beneficial to dig up everything in the area, and you'll see you get quite a bit. We got that one mined out. Head over to this other one, show you what I did here. This one also mined out all the way down. Did pretty good. This one was quite large as well, as you can see, all the way out to here. Already got that. Alright. This one as well. So we went for this copper mine as well. This one was not as big, but as you can see, it was still quite large. I think we missed a little piece right here. Never pass up any copper. No copper left behind. Alright, and then I think there was one more. No, it's a crypt. And I think I started on this copper, or no, maybe I didn't. No, so we still have one more copper here. If we need more, which we're definitely going to need more, because I've used up pretty much everything we had originally. Grab some blueberries. Always need blueberries. Whether it's for mead or for cooking, those will definitely come in handy. Let's see. I think maybe I started on this copper over here near the shore. Yeah. So I started on this copper here. Yeah, it looks like I finished this one too. I guess I should go ahead and mark that off. But yeah, so you can see I dug this one all the way out as well. So that's the nice thing about the copper veins. There's definitely a lot in them. They may not look large on the surface, but you just got to keep digging down and you'll find a large amount. Um, and yeah, as you can see, I've got 2 copper pickaxes, the bronze pickaxes, bronze axe, bronze sword, and bronze shield. And I also even made the newer fine wood bow, because with the bronze axe we're able to cut down the higher level trees and gather the fine wood now. And I'll show you that so you can see which trees those are that will give that. We're going to head back to the house, and I'll see you back at the house so you can see the renovations I've made. Alright, we're back at the house. So one of our trees just grew. We kind of caught it right there on the camera just at the right time. We haven't changed too much with the overall layout. I did add a wall around it. I don't know if that was there last time, because we were starting to get a lot of the forest is moving attacks, probably like 3 or 4, just while doing these builds on the house area. So I definitely had to build the wall. I put 2 little farm plots on the right side of this, and 2 on the left. We've started our carrots here, because we need these for the food. And I'll show you which food we're using currently, and that's why the carrots are so important. And got another farm plot here. This will be for the turnips from the swamp. And I believe there'll be onions later from the mountains. And I think there's some other ones, but I'm not sure if they'll grow here or not. And then we've cleared out all the crypts that we found on the southern island. So all of the crypts down here are done. There's no more left, at least none that we found. There may be some up here. I didn't search for crypts too much. I was mostly looking for the trader, but I'm certain there's a few up here. And we were able to get 2 more kilns, and we got the smelter, but most importantly, we built our fermenters. I built them off in this nice little small room here. 2 up top, 2 on the bottom, so we can ferment 4 at a time. I've already fermented some healing potions, some minor mead healing. And of course, we've still got our forge over here, and I've been collecting all the stone from the mining, because that will come in handy later when we need to do the stone crafting for our base and for our future house. And this is where I finally managed to get my boars. Let's get inside, let you take a look. So I gave them a nice little area with a nice little pond. And they seem to grow in here just fine. I decided to make it into a nice little nature area where you can come and sit and relax and enjoy the trees. And we use the glowing mushrooms, the yellow mushrooms, for little lanterns, because you can't have fire in your boars or they get scared. So the little yellow mushrooms will give it a little bit of light. And it just looks nice. It's almost like a runway. So that's what we've been working on for the house. Everything's pretty much laid out now. I haven't decided what's going to be over here, but I don't want to do too much change with the terrain. I kind of want to leave it like a hill. So maybe something I can build up on the hill. Maybe a fort or a castle. We'll see. It's not a very big area, but it's enough for one player to have for everything they need. And we even managed to catch a deer. Oh, and we've got our boat now. That was the last thing that I built. So the carve right here, we built that. It takes 80 bronze nails, and deer hide resin, but fine wood. I know I was mentioning that earlier. The fine wood is what you get from chopping down these, the birch trees. And you can only chop those down with at least a bronze axe. So that was why it was important to make that bronze axe, because if we were still using the stone or the other one, we would not be able to get fine wood, and that would prevent us from moving up in the technology. So with the bronze axe, we were able to cut those down and build the carve. So we're not just limited to that little raft anymore. And there are a few other things that it was necessary for. The fermenters took 30 fine wood each. So we needed a bunch for that. Those will definitely be useful later because we're going to be fermenting all kinds of things. Not only healing potions, but the poison resistance. We'll need those before going into the swamp. The frost resistance for the mountains. All very important to keep us healthy and alive. Unfortunately, the fine wood didn't unlock any crafting for the house except for the dragon ornament, which I never really cared for to begin with. It's just like a dragon head that you can attach to your house that sticks out. I never cared too much for that one. Apparently there's a new one, a wolf head, but I haven't seen it yet. We haven't unlocked it. The only other thing that I built was the fine wood, a banner, and we built this up near our bed, and this counts as a comfort item, so it increases our rested bonus to an even longer amount of time. And that should be everything. I don't think we've built anything. We did build some chairs and tables and benches. Those also increase the comfort. And that's pretty much everything. Now we are going to need to collect some so we can start building our portals, because these will be important for us for traveling around the world to the different bosses. See, there's our banner. Because the portals are going to save us a lot of time going back and forth, especially once we start getting into the swamp, dealing with that, as well as the plains, because those are going to be some distance away from our house, and we're not going to want to take the boat every time we just want to get there. But that's where we're at now. We've got everything built. I went ahead and upgraded my troll hide as much as I could. It's up to level 3, except for the cloak. I've upgraded the swords and shield as well as the other tools to level 2, which is the current highest I can do on the bronze. The only thing left that I want to upgrade first is the bow, which means more fine wood. And mostly that's because the second boss, the Elder we're going to be fighting, is a giant tree. So we're basically going to be shooting him with fire arrows the whole time. Mostly because he does a really powerful attack if you get too close. It's easier just to dodge his long range attack and shoot him with fire. So that's going to be our plan for him. So I'm going to gather some more fine wood and get this bow upgraded, and then we'll be back to go take down that boss. That's our plan anyway. Hopefully we won't have any problems. I don't foresee anything. He's pretty straightforward. The bosses aren't too big difficulty in this game. It's mostly just about the exploration and gathering and crafting. The bosses are just kind of there to gatekeep, make sure you're crafting everything before that level. So I don't think we'll have any problems. So that's our next goal. I'm going to work on this bow, and then we'll be back. Alright, so I upgraded the fine bow to the max, fine wood bow to rank 3. I had to go back to the Dark Forest to get more core wood, because in order to make this, it takes both fine wood and core wood, as well as deer hide. And I had plenty of fine wood, but the core wood I had just run out from building. So we had to go back and gather a little bit of core wood. That wasn't too hard. It's just the pine trees. So that was very easy to get. But I wanted to show you next is what we've also unlocked through the carrots, and that is carrot soup. This is going to be one of our main foods currently. So it doesn't give much health, but it gives a lot of stamina. The second one we're going to be using is deer stew, which is just the opposite. It's cooked deer meat, blueberries, and carrots. So everything that you have to get from the Dark Forest. And that's, 45 health and 15 stamina, so that'll help both there. And for the third one, we're just going to keep using boar jerky for the time being, because it's a pretty even health and stamina buff, so 23 and 23. So it'll give us a pretty good size when we take all three together. There'll be some better foods later on. And it also depends on what you want to get. Like right here, we could have gone for more health and less stamina if we don't use the boar jerky. And it's a lot more health, a little less stamina, but it takes a lot of meat, especially necktails. You can't really, they're like deer, you can't farm them or tame them, so you have to go out hunting them. So it's a little bit harder to get necktails, and right now necktails are going to be more useful for our poison resistance potion for when we go to the swamp. So I didn't want to waste them for that just yet. And Queen's Jam is a lot more stamina, but like I said, I'm trying to keep, these two are nice because they give one high and one low, and then this is a nice middle ground. So it balances us out, keeps us pretty even on our health and stamina, which is the way I like it. But all of that is the carrots. The carrots are what was holding us back for that. Now that we've got a nice farm set up, we can get 120 carrots each harvest. You'll notice that they're nice and straight. This is one of the few mods that I'll actually use, and all it does is it allows you to plant your crops in straight lines. So it doesn't really change anything else. So we get 120 carrots each time, and it's more than enough to make the food we need to keep with us and keep a few carrots in the storage. But that with the food we've got, the bow upgraded, everything going, I'm gonna finish up a little bit of smelting that's going on over here, and then we're gonna go take down that boss. So we'll see you in the Dark Forest. All right, we're back. We're at the summon location for the second boss, the Elder. This is what we're gonna be doing now. We're gonna take him down. We got our fire arrows, got our fine wood bow. We didn't forget to bring the ancient seeds. That's what we're going to need to offer at the ancient bowl here to burn. And as you can see, if you weren't sure what they were, you can see their picture up on the top of these. That's kind of what tells you what to bring. It looks just like this. So you bring these up here and you place them in the bowl and burn them, and the second boss is going to come. So we scouted out the surrounding area. I didn't see any bad guys right nearby, so hopefully they won't interrupt us while we're fighting. So let's get this guy taken care of. We got our health potions ready. Everything looks good. We're going to activate Ecthyr because we're going to be doing a lot of running. We don't want to waste our stamina on that. And he shouldn't be a problem. We've got, like I said, we've got plenty of good food. We got good armor. Alright, we gotta run, get away from these. They'll slap you. And then he shoots these vines out. That's his long range attack. It does pretty good damage. You just gotta make sure you dodge it behind the pillars. Stay away from the vines. He'll summon new vines with the run. That's why I wanted Ecthyr's buff on, so I could run without wasting too much stamina. Oh, it looks like it switched. Yeah, see, it does a lot of damage when it hits. He summoned those vines in a bad spot. Oh, we're getting a little close. Yeah, I hear some greylings. Yeah, showed up. Grey dwarf. They don't like fire either. Let his stamina go back up a bit. Got us again. Let's see, he's a bit more difficult than the first boss. You just gotta be careful. Ooh, we're almost out of stamina. Let's put that recharge. This is why having the Ecthyr's buff is so important, because you do have to run quite a bit. And wasting stamina on sprinting just isn't good in the middle of a boss fight. Ooh, got us again. Alright, from the roots, so we move. Yeah, you see, he's definitely harder than the first boss. Still doable, but you have to be a lot more careful. Now, I don't see a weak point on him. Oh, got us again. That was just a graze, though. I don't see a weak point on him to do a critical hit or anything like that. Let's get some distance. Alright, here come the roots. Thankfully, he's not like the first boss where we'll want to fight him more than once to get his reward. Alright, Eikthyrs' buff is just about over, so we're going to have to be more careful with our stamina. And this is why I wanted to focus on food that would give us a good balance between stamina and health. So we could take a few hits, but we also got stamina to do this kind of running around. This is why I wanted a new bow as well, because you see, if we were using the crude bow still, well, we wouldn't be doing any damage to him. Almost got him. There we go. Yeah, so he's not too complicated, but he does hit kind of hard. But as long as you've got your troll armor upgraded, and you've got your food, the food's probably the most important part there, because you've got to have the stamina to do the running and the shooting, and you got to make sure you have enough life where you can take a couple hits if you mess up. Because if you don't have the stamina, and if you don't have the hit points, you're just not gonna be able to do it. You're just gonna run into problems. So the food's probably the most important part of this battle. So now that we've got him down, we should check out our rewards. We have the swamp key. And this is going to be our next. It tells us basically where we're going for our next goal. So we're heading to the swamp, which we haven't discovered any yet, but we really haven't taken the boat out. So we'll take the boat out while looking for the trader and see if we can find some swamp. And we've also got his head, which we need to go take and deliver to the altar like we did with the first one. So we'll go take care of this, and we'll hop back to our house, clean up inventory, and we'll hop out on the boat and go see what we can find. And as you see, we used almost 60 arrows for that guy. So make sure you come with a full set of arrows. Otherwise, you don't want to run out of arrows in the middle of that fight. Because if you have to switch over to melee, for him, it's not going to be fun. But that's it for that guy. We're going to head back to the house, drop things off, and we might just call it a day for that here today. So let's get this going. And I'll see you in a second. As you can see, we're over here in the meadows. I was getting ready to drop this off, and I noticed this guy out here in the distance. This is one of the Grey Dwarf Brutes. You might be wondering, what is he doing in the meadows? Well, that's one of the interesting things about defeating this boss. Looks like he might have disappeared now, but after you defeat the second boss, you'll start seeing the Grey Dwarfs out in the meadows. So as you make progression in the boss fights and such, the world will change a bit. So as you can see, we saw that brute. He disappeared. Looks like he despawned. Maybe we were too far away. But you'll see the Grey Dwarfs out in the meadows now. You're also going to, later on, you'll see more and more of the other enemies appearing where they didn't used to. So it's just a way of making sure that you're not, you know, running into just enemies you can kill with one hit after you get past it. So it's kind of nice. It keeps the meadows where you have to, you know, keep a little bit of attention. They're not too dangerous, but it just shows that the world is also progressing with you. So let's go ahead and drop this thing off. Now his ability is just faster wood cutting. That's not really something I'm interested in when I compare it to the ability to use less stamina when sprinting and jumping. So we're not going to take his buff, but we've got him dropped off. Our next boss is going to be this one. See what he has to say. Wanderer, look to your feet that tread upon our tomb. 1,000 bones without their meat will drag you to your doom. So skeletons, zombies, something like that. You see he's a big guy, but he's definitely going to be in the swamp. That's where our key takes us. So we're going to go ahead and head back to our base, which is just a straight shot from here. We'll drop everything off and take a look at our map. Let's make our plan. Make sure we grab these mushrooms though. Yeah, mushrooms and berries, always very useful for mead, for cooking. Looks like we left some. We must have killed a grey dwarf out here and forgot him. Alright, so we'll drop this stuff off and take a look at our map. Okay, so we want to go to the swamps, and as I thought, we haven't discovered anything connected to this island with swamps. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our boat out and we're just going to sail around the island, and hopefully we'll find the trader, but we'll definitely find the swamps because that's where our next goal is going to be. So that's going to be what we're going to do in the next episode. We're going to get this boat out and we're going to go looking for the swamps. And that will lead us to iron, which is going to be our next goal, getting that iron and making the higher level armor. I went ahead and skipped the bronze armor because the troll hide armor is just about as good, and we may not need it because we should be able to find some iron pretty easy in the swamps. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, we'd appreciate it if you hit that like button and consider subscribing. Maybe even hit that notification bell. That way you can be alerted when we release new episodes or if we go live. But either way, thanks for watching. It's been great, and this has been Valinor, and you've been watching Valheim.